Baby, Nintendo fucked us over. Now Smash Con Supernova. No GameCubes, just Wii's. Don't show late to pools, you joker. I'll shot put your controller. Don't fuck with the cheese.
Welcome to Fourside Fights featuring Zamu, Tyler Cox, Radar, and Tradewar. Citizens of Fourside, I'm Jackzilla, and I know, number one, I stand with John Boyce. Those athletes who practice before the Olympics are cheaters. Number two, the best Star Trek movie is Star Trek 4, not only for being really funny, because it successfully saved the humpback whales from extinction. Number three, Spanish bilingual commentary, as seen at Tipped Off, is simply better than the weak shit we've been producing in the past few years. And number four, Zane has abandoned his ultimate streaming, which is proof that no Melee player can actually ingest 90 days straight of that game. Let's go to each side. Is it true that Melee players can only survive 2 weeks of direct exposure to ultimate before overdosing and spinning out? Let's start with, she's well on her way to becoming the fourth most powerful dictator in Melee history. It's Zamu.
Yeah, no, that shit is just, like, bad for you. It's unhealthy, for sure. I'm honestly amazed he got that far. I guess, like, maybe, like, the sub count kind of, like, is, like, Narcan. But yeah. No way can you do it like that.
All right, he's the head TO for Warehouse War 4 and does not like his gamertag Rooster. It's Tyler Cox.
How's it going? But yeah, no, Ultimate's a little brutal. I played that shit for about 3 weeks when it first came out. Won my first weekly, beat up all the Smash 4 kids, and yeah, no. Not anymore, please.
A seasoned warrior in the battlefield of ideas, it's commentator and content creator, Radar.
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky. I think the simple answer is that Ultimate is the League of Legends of fighting games. You know, a lot of people play it, but is it actually good? Debatable, very debatable. And I think the debate is settled, in Zane's case at least. Okay,
and if you be mean to League of Legends on this show, you do lose points. League of Legends
made sure to keep it in there. I knew the connection.
Yeah, and finally, he thinks he's here because of his work in Smash Ultimate, but is actually here for working on bike lanes in Chicago. It's Tradewar.
Hello. Okay, so I've been to many Melee tournaments where I've watched people get, like, Armada Shine and die, and I think about how many controllers would be smashed if you got put into the Kazuya Mishima Thunderdome. I think it's not tenable, and I think you're Rock Lee weight training a bunch of 16-year-olds for when they decide to actually figure out their life and stop being a teenager.
Hey, that's sometimes how it goes. Welcome to Fourside Fights. We've got 4 outstanding guests today who are going to act as pundits as I throw topic after topic at them. They'll give their takes. If they're entertaining or interesting, I'll give them points. If they're boring, repetitive, or patently unreasonable, I'll subtract. And of course, I can mute any contestant at any time for any reason. The player with the most points at the end is our winner. They get to commentate the 3 losers as they take it to Fourside in a free-for-all to see exactly how their punditry translates to Melee. Let's get started with our first topic at Warehouse War 4. Jmook 3-0'd Cody from Losers, then went up 2-0 in the second set of Grand Finals, and then was up 2 stocks to 1 to win the whole thing. Cody Schwab found some demon within himself and reversed 3-0'd to win the event. It honestly reminded me of Full Bloom 2 Grand Finals with Lucky versus Axe. It also reminded me of Jmook at Gamalex, Jmook at Full Bloom 2024, at Santa Paws, at Arkham Melee. He seems stuck again in the second place zone, similar to 2022. I believe in the Mook. What would y'all want to see from him to change, to close out these positions, or is everyone else simply too clutch? Let's start off with Tyler Cox, the host.
I think he needs some emotion. That entire set, he was stone-faced. They were warming up, and he was doing silly little pivots with Cody before the set even started. After the stream broke, we came back. Cody was laughing, cutting up. He was stone-faced the entire time. He played all those sets. Didn't blink once, I don't think. I have no idea. But he gets a little wand in him, starts giving some energy while he's playing. He closes that shit out.
What is the name of your kitty that is in the back behind your camera?
That's Mona. Oh, wait, no, that's Zuko.
Oh, 2 cats. That means you get many points. Sorry.
Oh hell yeah!
To everybody else who does not have cats on the screen. Radar, what do you think?
I mean, I think it's quite simple. For a long time, we've all made jokes about Jake's posture, about Jmook having the kind of most upright positioning in Melee, but that positioning hasn't led him to a first place yet. And I think maybe it's time to lean in a little bit, get in the gamer zone, and see what happens.
Winning Genesis and Collision.
I'm not saying that there's nothing happening. I'm just saying
Jake
maybe it's time to switch it up a bit.
Okay, I hear that. A little bit of reverse slouch. Tradewar, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Jmook should do like a 2019 Mango, and just for one of them, just for one major, just try showing up like completely shit faced, and just see, just try something new. He's been stuck. He has to take a fresh approach. He should give it a go. Just fully, no inhibitions, just kind of going fully balls to the wall. Just fully trying to channel Mango energy, seeing if he can capture it. Probably won't, but at least it'll rule something out.
For Jmook's mother, who's a fan of the show, of course, part of Fourside Nation, we're not advocating, any kind of substance abuse. I think there's probably another path. Zamu, what should
I
Jmook
have
do?
an incredibly hot take with this one. He should get better at the game.
Oh my god.
I think it would help.
How
If
much
he was
better?
better, he would win. I think.
Okay, Jake was literally in a winning position and
If he
won
was better,
5
he would've
games in a
won.
row. Is that just not good enough? Not good enough.
Not good
He
enough.
needed the 6. He needed the 6.
So you're
He didn't
Mewtwo
get it.
King pilled, where it's just everything comes down to how good you are. There's no
In
mental.
so many ways, I'm Mewtwo King pilled.
Okay. Yeah, he's been doing lots of tutorials lately, and we're all watching closely.
We're all learning,
Yeah. There's frame data that in IRL that we didn't know about. Okay, let's move on to our next topic. Let's go deeper. Warehouse War 4. This is kind of the marquee competition between two of you here. Warehouse War featured 22 top 100 players and 4 of the top 10. Full Bloom 2024 featured 25 top 100 players and 4 of the top 10, with the 5th dropping out a day before. Pat's House had 26 top 100 players and 5 of the top 10. Liquipedia only called one of these 3 events a major. Supernova is pushing 30 or 40 top 100 players with 7 of the top 10. Liquipedia is not calling it a super major. Are the Liquipedia editors right, or are they smoking that good shit? What the fuck is going on? Someone explain it.
No, they're awful. It's garbage.
I'm bad to make fun of them.
We're already warring against the stats people on the ultimate side. This isn't necessarily the stats people, but this is the backroom dealings here, trying to come across with these criteria for tournaments. And I think sometimes, to an extent, you gotta let the vibes take over, because like ultimate, they're so stuck in their ways with their P tiers and their B tiers and the B plus tiers that like that's all they talk about. If you look at the Twitch chat for the ultimate chat at Warehouse, like every single message was, "Oh, MK Leo, he's winning a B tier. Is this a B tier? Is this a major? Is this an A tier? What is this? Like, watch the damn game." This classification is too much.
Yeah. Everyone in Ultimate has brain poisoning on knowing what a major is. You don't want to open the box, because we found a way to open the box and tell you if something is or is not a major, and it's made every single person on planet Earth, except for a bunch of 16-year-olds in Japan, fucking miserable. You don't want to know. You have to judge it based on how confident the TO is on Twitter. There's no other metric that you should really side with. Lock in, Cogs.
Yeah, I mean, I do think it's complicated. I always like to take the less I know, the better about ultimate approach. And I think that thoughts head empty thing applies here, where I don't know if it's a major. I'll just let Wheat tell me if it is. I think Liquipedia could learn a lesson or 2 or 10, and that's how I'll keep it.
Give me that Wheat. Zamu, you're the one that spurred this topic's creation. What's your take here?
I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like you should, if you go to the tournament and it feels like a major, then it might be a major. And if you go to the tournament and it feels way sicker than a major because it's a regional, then it's probably a regional. It doesn't really, it's literally like, if you go, I don't think I can support a major being a 1-day event, even though Warehouse War was kind of a 2-day event, but it was really a 1-day event with some side events on Friday night.
What about HGC Throwdown?
That was a major. That was one day. Was
Yeah.
that one day?
So
Okay,
it's
times have
Football
changed.
3.
That tournament was too sick. So if the tournament's super sick, then I guess it can be a major.
So it has to be a certain like level of bad in order for it to be a major, is what we're saying.
Yeah. Majors can't like be good either.
You need to be like
That's-
sponsored by cup noodles.
I've never
God.
been to a major that I was like, oh yeah, this tournament ran so well.
Who hurt you?
So many people.
Any event that gives me a little badge and J Danger is there is a major. That's my
Ooh.
metric now.
I
Not at
can't
Warehouse
decide
4.
whether to give you points for it being cute or take
Jay
it
didn't
away
show
for
up?
mentioning danger.
Jay
Jay hates me. That's why she didn't go.
But I'm saying.
Okay. So y'all are saying it's vibes. I feel like
I-
we're all in agreement. But Zamu has like
I think
inverse
it's- no,
vibes, contrarian vibes.
Yeah, but I also think it's good that Ultimate does what they do. I don't know anything about what they do, but I like they do the little letters based on some like arbitrary thing where they're like, ooh, points and like.
You think we should
Firework.
put all the entrants into a machine and then spit out one of 26 letters to determine the
Yes.
quality of the
No,
event?
only Ultimate should do that. We do
I've been DM'd by certain Melee figureheads in the past asking how it worked to see if they could resolve any of the abysmal "is it a major or not" discourses that have happened. In
You
the past
got
5
to
months.
name drop somebody that's juicy to get points here. I don't take this
All
anonymous
right,
stuff.
all right, fine. 7 months ago, Contra DM'd me asking about this. Okay, so Connor asked me about it. Okay,
Turncoat.
let's go.
Turncoat.
I literally spent the next like 20 minutes telling them that it would break any sense of discourse by creating 25 million more problems. I
Yeah, why do
think
people
you
care?
don't want it. Why people care? They want to be good at the video game. They want outside affirmation, and basically the current Ultimate breakdown right now was started by a bunch of people who did it on their own as a passion project, and then everything exploded, and now they got hired to make their passion project visible by tens of thousands more people than it needed to be. And that's a struggle.
I mean, maybe this is one of those things where like history is written by the winners, and if you made top 8, it's a major, and if you didn't, it's not.
Yep.
It's quite
That's
simple.
what Mango and Zane were saying after Zane won Full Bloom. Zane was like, well,
Zamu
I
made
won it, so it must
at
be.
Warehouse. She said it wasn't.
There you go.
No, that's literally okay. This is actually my biggest reason for feeling like Warehouse War is not a major for Melee. Is I did not fucking top 8 a major. It's just
Why
not what I
not?
did.
Interesting.
You are
Like,
history
literally
written by the
widely
winners, some would
acknowledged.
say.
Even if you don't get ranked this period, you are widely acknowledged as like being talented enough to make top 8 at
Oh,
any
I am.
tournament.
I am for sure. No, I'm good. I think
any
I could
tournament.
win a major. I think I could win a major, but it's like it's just the vibes. It's just the vibes.
You want to suffer a little more for it? Like
Yeah,
you made top 8.
You have to wait 6 hours for Ultimate top 8 to finish before you
Yeah,
can play your top
no,
8, or else it doesn't count.
I think it's a completely different experience. Truthfully, is part of why. But like,
All right. I think this is just another in the Zamu self-degradation saga is where I've decided to land in.
I didn't beat people that made it to where I top 8 at a major.
Who'd you beat?
SDJ and Moth.
SCJ and Moff are both like top 30 players.
Yeah, but give me two.
Moff has beaten
No,
both of
I'm
those.
wrong
You listed
one.
2 players who consistently like challenge or outright beat the best players in the world.
Yeah, but you need to beat like 4 of them. It wasn't.
I
It just
see. You
it
need
just
to
wasn't.
beat,
It's like it's
4
not
of
that
them.
it's not that those players wouldn't be. They're great players, but it's just you got to beat a bunch of them.
You beat
Shouldn't have
OG
to-
Kid and
This
Losers.
is honestly-
Yeah, you beat OG Kid and
Losers.
Losers.
Kid
What's that?
with his extended family cheering for him.
That's impossible.
Impossible.
Is this not just the
I will-
advanced version of mid-level is top 100, but like
Radar-
to an even further degree?
I literally was already-
overhearing.
I am so glad you brought this up, but I
Please do
don't want-
not. Like,
I was thinking about this because Spindo recently tweeted about this, and I was like, "Oh, Radar has thoughts on this, and I have thoughts on this as well." But it's like,
Is it that you think that people who are top 100 are still not actually good?
I think good is relative, and I think yes, I think they are not that good. They're good compared to the field, which does not make them good.
Yeah, I think only like 3 people have ever been good at Melee, and that's okay.
I want to chime in with the fact that to be bronze 1 on Slippy ranked, you have to actively work for it because you don't get games in low elo and you start in bronze 2.
and you have to pay money.
And I have
So
to pay
you better
money.
be working for it. You can't
That's
put
what I'm
the
saying.
dollars down.
Anyone's good. I look at anyone that can like consistently ledge dash as like a god. So
I will get on my soapbox and say my big problem is I feel like Wikipedia is holding the scene to definitions of activity and involvement that we haven't had since 2017 when half the pit players were sponsored and could get paid to fly out to stuff. It's just not going to happen again. And so we either need to change our definition of majors to be much more inclusive or it's over. Like we don't have any more important events and prestige is dead.
I prefer that.
I think you're looking at it the wrong angle. You have to just throw a coup on Wikipedia and
A
just
coup?
have a coup.
Yeah, it's
And
the opposite of a sedan, you know,
just have someone who's
A
actually
coup?
hosting the events edit the Wikipedia pages. Someone has to bite the bullet. Someone has to bite the bullet. Show up to the events, assess the vibes, and then put them on Wikipedia. Because you.
All right, we'll get a vibe checker. Let's move on to our next topic. Speaking about vibes that may be checked, politics are in the news, and I'm excited to bring political debate to Fourside Fights once again. Today's hypothetical: who would win in a presidential election that came down to Mango and Lucky versus Hungrybox and Crunch?
So I think this at first seems like an obvious pick for Mango Lucky, right? We're all thinking that they're the more kind of popular duo, except I remember SFAT versus Hungrybox, the mid-set coaching, despite it being explicitly against the rules. Does that not suggest that HBox is not above participating in election interference, in propaganda, in fraud? I don't know. I'm just asking questions.
That's fair.
I think it's a pretty free win for Hungrybox and Crunch because like your Mango Lucky voters, they're passionate. They're your people that are going to go on Twitter and say they're going to vote, and then they don't actually vote.
That's
So
actually
they're your online leftists basically, and your Hungrybox voters are the ones that are going to go out and knock on the doors and stump for him. So that's a pretty free
Mango voters be like, I'm going to throw a crab at HBox, and then they don't throw a crab at HBox.
Yep. Yeah. I came into this question fully kind of expecting that Mango was the free answer and kind of brushing past it in that regard. But the more I think about it, the harder that HBox and Crunch are going to work. Whether or not that wins you an election, whether or not finding ways to win, I think Mango's probably going to be more likely to win. I think Hungrybox is going to work harder for it. Whether or not you think one or which of these is going to get you into the presidency, I can't say.
Zamu, we've
Stand
got
your ground, make a choice.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of fence sitters. Zamu, get us there.
Mango and Lucky are gonna be like, dude, he plays Puff. And like, I feel like it's just over. I don't know. Like, throw some footage. Like, I want to see a presidential ad campaign where it's just HBox on the ledge, and then it just cuts to like, do you want this, like, in charge of your country, paid for by Mango Nation campaign? And it's like they're gonna be like, yeah, I don't know.
You think they're not going to dig up some footage of Mango playing Puff 2? Even if he does something cool,
Have you
there's gonna be
considered
some-
that
that's still going to
Mango's
be brought up.
autistic?
I don't know. If it was 2019, I believe it, but it's cool to be playing Puff and not winning things now. So
It is,
the
it
people
is.
love for every I was in the crowd at Genesis 9 for HBox Leffen, and for every ledge grab limit chant there was also a laser limit chant. So who's to say it's cool now to be lame, I guess. Because it's not working.
Yeah.
HBox does have a lot more demographics hit, but can we consider that his largest theoretical voting block are not of voting age?
Oh.
Oh.
See, but is that true, or is his exact fan group the equivalent of boomers in 30-year-old bodies? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I bet the average like Mango like fan is like 4 years older than the average Hungrybox fan just by
I never said I said not in terms of age, but in terms of mindset.
Oh, I see.
Could
Well,
12-year-olds
mindset doesn't
be
get-
able to vote if they're subscribed to Hungrybox?
Hmm.
They're gonna beg their parents.
It's about influencing, yeah. And their parents will have extra votes for all the kids they have. That makes sense. All right, let's move on to our next topic. At Warehouse War against Cody, Axe hit an SDI to tech the ledge into a back air that he had last hit on stream in like 2014. And during that 2014 stream, he promised one day I'm going to hit this in bracket. It took 10 years and Warehouse War 4 to get Axe there. What other technology or situations that are unusual are we waiting to see happen in tournament? What are the most unusual and rare situations you're waiting to see?
I mean, I think a big one would be people seeing a psychiatrist and getting prescribed some kind of ADHD med. That might really help innovate things, shake things up a little bit. But, okay, but actually, for real, I do think I want to say that everyone who engaged with Axe's clip was basically like, wow, this was, how many SDI inputs is this? 3, 4? I can't even tell. And I'm almost positive it was 1. So
was 1.
anything people say, I can't even take seriously. Even practical task was wrong. So if that isn't a good example of just like how you could say whatever the fuck you want and it is
What are
just
you talking
fine.
about? What can you say? It was still cool.
It was
Pikachu's
cool.
fucked
It
up
was
little
cool. But
body.
like, I honestly think the whole community is in this state where they like, if they see something weird, they have to assume it's some kind of like unholy amount of frame perfect inputs instead of just something that people aren't doing. Maybe Zamu was right. Maybe we are just really bad. Like, I don't know.
No, that I
don't know what to word.
I
Cool.
completely
Is
agree.
Cody bad?
No,
The-
it's
the-
cool. It's cool. It's just, is it as complicated as people think? I'm not so sure.
Well, that's just because like people that see things on Twitter and see things in Melee and watch Melee don't know anything. And also most of the players that play also don't know anything.
That's the bigger
Even
problem.
like even your top this is why top 100 players are mid-level because they don't know shit still. And like but also that while that is so sick, Pikachu is fucked up. Pikachu just does weird things. His body like it contorts in fucked up ways. I've been trying that tech for half a decade as Fox. Not hit it once. I feel so close. I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna SDI input away, down, in. No, never gonna happen for me. Never gonna happen for me.
So for you, that's what you're waiting for, but you don't think it's ever going to happen.
Yeah,
Is it because you're not good enough?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
Well, I think maybe if I played on
Just
box, I
thinking.
could do it.
Well,
Oh, okay, you should.
Truth comes out.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Anybody
mean,
else? Tech that you're waiting
yeah,
to see in tournament.
I still think the one thing that one of the things people need to get better at is just the basics still, because like there's still such a difference between like I watch a Mango set and I watch him just wave dash around and his like wave dashing is I can just still tell there's so much happening with what his movement is so much better than like every other like Falco or every other, like most other top players. Like the distance he gets on wave dashes is still night and day compared to most anyone else. Like just the basic shit, I feel like people are still lacking a lot of.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it took you guys 15 years to realize that Donkey Kong was usable. So I don't know. Maybe it's Mario next. Maybe it's Link next. Fuck if I know.
It's not Mario.
It's
Don't
not
give
Mario.
don't
It's
give
not
Link
Mario.
ideas.
It's not Mario. It's not Mario.
It's not
It
Mario.
would at very least be Dr. Mario first. Like, you're
I wish
just
it was
encouraging
Mario.
Walt here. Please stop. He
love
might be watching right now.
Yeah, we're trying to break Walt out of some bad habits. You might be right, but I just
Honestly.
don't. I want Walt off Mario by the end of the what do you call it? Q4.
Yep.
Yes.
Because you know Walt's on that financial calendar. We're looking at the quarterly results. Let's move on to our next topic. The SSBM summer ranking period closed at the start of July. Do y'all have any surprise predictions in your top 10 or top 50?
I hope Zamu
mean-
doesn't get ranked.
A bold prediction. An abstention.
Watch
You
like
went to a
12.
lot. It's gonna be tough.
I know. And I stopped asking people not to rank me.
Oh, then you're then oh. Then what
I
was
asked,
my
like-
sacrifice for?
I mean it's still nice. I don't know. I'm not gonna look at the rankings.
That's beast. Will you read the blurbs?
No.
Okay.
I'll read any that you wrote.
Okay, I'll send you the blurbs without the ranks attached.
Yay.
There you go. We
It's like a
should have
Google
that.
Doc
We
with
should have a
like clip
blurbs
out.
without ranks.
That'd be sick.
Just the
Anybody
vibes
else?
Like
only.
just like random.
Club definitely doesn't get ranked, right? Like he went to tipped off. Is like that's it, right? Like
Yeah. What do you do?
I mean, I feel like the summer rankings are still just so strange. Like I've always been a proponent of just like the once a year type deal, but because the summer rankings, like you want to get them out there, give people some numbers, whatever. But like I feel like it's so volatile and so like There were so many good players that only went to like one event or two events or
Yeah.
something like that it doesn't mean anything. Like it's just a number out there.
So there was a suggestion to lower it from 50 to 30, and that was resoundingly rejected by players who were like, "No, I want my kudos."
What about, so this is not in the nature of your question, but what about a
That's
top
okay.
15? Top 15, because like that's a cooler
doesn't-
check-in
But
than
that
like
doesn't
top
solve the
50.
problem I just brought up, which is that the people who are ranked like
But
to
then
be
there's
ranked.
less people that are like getting, like, then it's like more people aren't getting ranked. So it's like well, if
Okay,
you're
but
gonna
what
be,
is the line? Like, I still
mean,
think
I would
about
say
the
top
mid-level
10.
stuff. Like, where do we go? Like, oh, this number is good. Are we not just arbitrarily being like 37?
You got to get rid of
What
the
about it?
numbers.
Top
I'm
37.
not. There's a reason that I'm not even gonna read these rankings.
We
The
love multiples
number
of
doesn't matter.
5 because there's 5 fingers on our hand.
Wow.
Got to
And I'm
switch to prime
missing a foot,
numbers.
so we should have a top 15.
Yeah,
Why?
I wouldn't be opposed to
Don't
that. It's a
even,
lot
don't
less
even,
work.
don't even order them. Order them alphabetically. Just say these are 15 people who are kind of good at the game.
I think it's more interesting to like, those are the players, like, who's going to end up top 10 at the end of year? Who cares about who's top 10 like right now? The only reason we care about who's top 10 during summer is because these are the people that are in contention for the end of the year.
The only reason we care about them is because those are the top 10 that count towards making an event a major, according to fucking Wikipedia.
We should remove
And Zamu, to kind
I
of
care about
contradict
them
that.
because they're good at the game and like to watch them.
Yeah, and to contradict that a little bit, like Mango was at 11 and then somehow made the case for number 2 by the end of the year.
That's why I
And
said
that
top
like
15.
of what?
But yeah, that's why I said top 15. Even though, because then
I
you have like 5 players who like might be top 10, and there could be a really crazy run where it's like this person wasn't even top 15 and now they're top
Yeah.
10. Like it's definitely possible, of course, but
All right.
I mean, I gotta
hear you.
say, as a
It sounds like
commentator,
y'all don't care about ranks that much, so we can just move on to the next topic.
well, I will say, as a commentator,
yeah.
it's easier to remember one number than 2. So get the summer rank out of
Remember
there.
0 numbers. Just say if they're good or not. You don't have to order them.
No, if they're
Mid-level-
good or not, then
mid-level
that means
default.
it's Zamu rank. Zamu rank is only a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Are you good or are you not? And a lot of people are getting cut.
yeah.
All right, let's move on to our next topic. Earlier this month, Junebug won Patchwork 2024, beating Salt in 2 sets from losers to bring DK mains arguably their best tournament placement ever. The rise of DK has seemingly opened the floodgates for a host of overperforming low and mid-tier players. Who is the worst character you could see being solo main to top 50? Or if you don't want to use a ranking angle, who is the worst character you could see, winning a stacked regional, much like Patchwork?
I'm a Game & Watch believer till I die.
Yeah?
That character is kind of crazy at very certain things, but like if Walmart shoes could beat Frenzy, like Frenzy's really fucking good. Game & Watch is kind of shit. If that can happen, then like he's got some stuff. Sure, I'm down for it.
Do we think
How long Go ahead.
is Roy worse than Game & Watch? Because I guess that's probably actually supposed to not be controversial that Game & Watch is way better. I just think Game & Watch is so ass.
I don't know that it's that controversial. They seem like they could be argued being similar to
Okay,
me.
well, I think Roy can definitely do it. I don't know. Zane did it with
Yes.
Roy.
That's the
So
thing.
it's
Is this whole question? We almost have an argument that Zane has done it. You could argue that we don't need to suppose anything, that Zane has already achieved these things. But even on top of that, I do want to clarify that it's not about like who can do it from a character perspective. It's who's actually going to put the work in here. And when you look at different players and we just aggressively stereotype them, are Game & Watch players going to put the work in? Maybe. Are Mario players going to put the work in? Absolutely not.
No.
So, it depends. Roy, it's one guy. I don't know. You got to weigh the odds.
Mario players love smoking weed. Tradewar?
Yeah, I'm not good enough at the game to have any stake in this. I've been 8-stocked by Roy in bracket. I've been 8-stocked by Young Link in bracket. I've been 8-stocked by Game & Watch in bracket. I think I've only been 8-stocked by Skurzo in bracket in terms of Fox. So I think in terms of who's a good character, who's not a good character, those aren't my eyes. Those aren't my eyes to decide. I defer to experts on this one. If that's an acceptable answer, then Roy is the coward answer.
Let's move on to our next topic. We're at the halfway point of the year, as we've been discussing. What's been your favorite set so far, and why? Kind of best answer will get the most points. Most compelling answer.
I'm gonna take this one and probably give a true answer that watching and commentating live the chair throw, the interdimensional H box, feeling Walt right next to me scream, "Hide your kids, hide your wife," feeling the forces of the world align as the chair was thrust into the sky is something you truly can't describe until you feel it. And I think it was a very special feeling, except for the chair, of course. Probably was
Yeah.
quite painful.
And the gameplay was good too.
The gameplay was great. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah,
Who was that against?
fantastic set. The
STJ.
Jigglypuff Ditto of all things being the answer here. Who can believe it?
True.
Anybody else?
I was similarly surprised. I was going into this thinking, okay, I could say HBox STJ. I had a really good time watching it. Obviously, the ending is iconic as it is. I think the thing about HBox, and I've told people this before, is he needs to win something so that you guys get the fear of God of 2019 back into you. You need to think that him winning everything is plausible and could always be the return to the status quo. So I think him beating Cody at Collision and everyone kind of freaking out about the implications of that is up there, because I think there are many times I think if Zane wasn't there, a fully motivated HBox would bring you guys back to abject fear.
This is a
So,
2020. This is a very 2022, 2023 take. Radar.
Jack, I just want to ask, are you supposed to disclose that you're working for the HBox Crunch campaign manager, like from Tradewar just now? Or do you just kind of keep that in the past? Because I'm seeing a lot of pushing for that presidency.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
from my,
Tradewar.
I think the presidency would be hilarious. That's all I'm gonna say. It's
Well,
not. It's not my
This is
wheelhouse.
like the insider
not my-
trading, I'm not a fan of it.
I'm here to watch the chaos.
So what was your favorite set, Tradewar? Is it just STJ Hungrybox again? 'Cause
No,
I
it
have
was
to take points away if that's it.
No, it was definitely still HBox Cody.
Okay. I see.
I gotta go with Plup Sunsei because Plup's return to form and him starting Sheik going down 0-2, and it's like, I'll just go Fox and just beat the fucking brakes off him. Like, okay, sure, he still got it like that, but and just like seeing the disparity between the two types of Foxes, like Sunsei as like I'm a tech chase you, I'm a back throw you onto this platform and hit every tech chase type of Fox, and Plup like as a non-Fox main, it just kind of looks like he's just doing stuff, and it just all worked. And then he just won the set, reverse 3-0. Like, that was insane to watch.
Plup has the least Fox main energy of anybody who's succeeded so much with Fox.
Yeah, as a Fox man, I do agree. Plup does stuff, and I'm like, oh, I guess that's like, yeah, and then he wins. I got it. It's crazy that 3 of 4 of us are about to say Hungrybox sets. He's just that guy. He's just that guy.
The
I
one
gotta
Fox
say,
main is
man,
the one that
melee.
didn't say Hungrybox. The one Puff main did not say Hungrybox.
Yeah.
Again, we have to disclose our donations to his campaign, or it's just not ethical.
Okay,
Okay,
I
Like,
mean, I have my own biases. I gotta say, I4 Feck versus Hungrybox Zamu. It was just streamed by such a great streamer, and also it was just so I hear Hungrybox just telling me over and over again, camp in my ears when I fall asleep at night.
Very good. And who is that streamer?
Oh, Jackazilla.
All right. I was like, I can't remember. Was that me? That was at Big House, wasn't it?
That was at Genesis.
Genesis. Okay.
Zamu and Hungrybox got second at that tournament, and are gonna team at Supernova and win.
Oh, you won the lottery.
I was supposed to say the tweet. This is new information.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
exclusive.
It is-
This is
okay, so-
exclusive.
So yeah. We're gonna team, and the other person that asked, like the person who asked me soon after, I get a follow on Twitter. This person only follows 120 people. Chew dat. I check my DM.
no.
Yo, Zamu, do you have a teammate at Supernova? And I was
Your
like,
dad is going to Supernova?
yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Right.
I'm sure it's on the website, but I don't look at that shit. All right. Let's move on to our next topic. I'm very excited for the return of the DAT. Edwin Budding counted up who commentated the most major and super major top 8 sets in 2024 and found that Studebaker Hawk was number 1 at 28 sets, followed by Homemade Waffles at 26, Walt at 22, Toph at 15, and our guest Radar at 12. Unlisted was me at 10. Radar, does this prove that getting top 8 sets for commentary is negatively correlated with tweeting a lot?
As in, wait, but
Everybody,
I feel like I do
Studebaker
tweet a
isn't
lot.
on Twitter. Homemade Waffles barely tweets. Walt, all professional on Twitter. Toph barely tweets. Me and you at the bottom there, we're
won't shut the
tweeting.
hell up, you know? So it now that I'm thinking about it, especially after my day today where someone said that I would spit in a homeless guy's cup, I do have a lot to process. I think I'm starting to think that tweeting may in fact be a mistake, but remains to be seen. I'm still going to jump back on tomorrow.
Everybody else, TOs, players, stats nerds alike, do the commentators need to shut up on Twitter? Is that the only way for us to advance our career?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was literally, for whatever, like one of the earlier questions, I was gonna, about Liquipedia. Who the fuck? Internet bad.
Who tweeted about it?
I don't know.
You
I didn't
brought
even.
it up. You're
No,
the reason
that's
it's a
not true.
topic.
Oh, you're so right. But that's because it's because of Aklo and Foxy Grandpa. Aklo and Foxy Grandpa are the only people I saw calling it a major. They're the only people I saw doing
Hey,
this.
Cody did that too. That was before he won it too. He called it major
Wow.
before he won it.
Well,
so
That's not
I just thought they're like these brothers are doing this. I'm like, something's up. Sure, Foxy Grandpa, you get your first top
colluding. The
100 win.
brothers.
Hmm?
The brothers are colluding.
The
Anybody
brothers
else?
are colluding.
Yeah.
The other thing I kind of wanted to bring up is just quietly that Studebaker Hawk is kind of the voice of Melee. How do we feel? I feel like
That blew my mind.
that is so under-discussed compared to commentators of yore. I feel like we're still living in a world where we expect Scar to kind of come out and be the iconic commentator, but it hasn't been that way in a while.
I'm so about it. I am a monstrous Studebaker Hawk fan. He was our first choice for bringing a commentator out for Warehouse, and I am very glad that we got him out there because as a commentator, fantastic. As a dude, fantastic. Couldn't happen to a better person.
Dude was at Warehouse War?
Yeah, he was at the other room most of the time, but he came back and commentated top 8.
Wow.
Can I mention the other room on this show?
What's the other room?
The
I didn't hear what you said.
He's playing PM the whole time.
Yeah, we could talk about Project
Okay,
M.
cool. Hell yeah, let's
Project
go.
M, the modification for Super Smash Brothers Brawl.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. But yeah, no, he was over in the PM room the whole time.
You think I'm selling out to Nintendo?
Hey,
where the fuck do you think you're at? This is Fourside Fights.
Fourside Fights, baby.
From the
on to our next
contracts I
topic.
got from that I had to read over when I was getting streamers working on stuff for this past weekend. I'm just playing it safe. Got to make it real careful. I don't want the hammer brought down on the fights.
They can't cancel us. They've got nothing. We're protected by parity law, and that's on God. The only people I'm afraid of is Tony Reale and ESPN, because if he says he doesn't like the show, it's over. Next day. Anyways, Tradewar, thoughts on commentary in 2024, the rise of Stude, the fall of the tweeters.
All right. This is going to get me deducted at many a point. I'm preempting it. I watch Melee Majors the way that TikToks put Subway Surfers gameplay on the screen. I have not listened to a Melee set with audio on. I have not watched a Melee set with audio on since Genesis.
Damn, you're just like a top player.
You're just like me for real.
So I consume all Melee commentary through the clips that get posted. If it gets enough likes, then the commentators have done a good enough job.
Yeah.
I will say I operate with Ultimates the same way. I'll sometimes watch it.
I do the same thing with
on my
Ultimate
other
too.
screen, and I cannot watch Ultimate with sound on.
I will say I listen with
Sorry.
commentary on, but because I'm like hanging out with people or talking to people, I'm usually not processing it unless something is going very badly. Like if commentary is has punctured my like bubble of experience, then that to me is bad commentary. Everything else is pretty much equally good, and if it punctures it in a good way, then you're great. That's
Can
the
we-
3 stages.
Can we throw back to an old Fourside Fights question real quick? Of do we even need commentary? Because
It's a great
think
question.
I used to have better
they could spend
questions,
so much
huh?
more time tweeting. Live tweet top 8. I would rather see that. I don't want to see that.
I will
just
say,
do it like those Associated Press articles where they just give you the little like line by line updates of whatever's happening on the screen. Like, oh, Cody just SD'd for this stock.
I would-
Everybody watching home. Oh, okay.
I would be so interested in like radio sports style commentary where like it is not, you can't watch, you just listen.
yeah.
Like that would be, because like you're ever driving home from the tournament and like
You're gonna
wanna
love
keep up.
my doubles commentary from Smash and Splash 4.
Or
Say
all
that.
of the commentary I do, pretty much. Like, yeah.
But for the sole intent of that,
I think the problem is I listened to the beginning of Warehouse War Grand Finals. The VODs are actually, the audio is a little fucked up at the beginning, as you know, on YouTube. And so like it kind of was that experience of no commentary, and it feels very lonely. So I do think that is an experiment perhaps worth doing, but I think after the experiment we would find ourselves missing all the folks that
I think at the end of the day, Smash is a social game in the way that being in a cafe is a social experience. And you work in the cafe and you hear people talking about their days. And I think you notice its absence.
Yeah.
I'm not listening to the conversations though.
Speaking of noticing absences, let's move on to our next topic. At Man on a Ledge 528, Johnny Gumball made history and legalized male wireframe for the first documented bracket matches by a forbidden character. At least that one. These characters, the forbidden characters, are male wireframe, female wireframe, Master Hand, Crazy Hand, Giga Bowser, and the Sandbag. Some of these characters have fatal flaws, like crashing the game. But we've already experimented with legalizing Giga Bowser in the early Slippy days, and I'm sure we could patch out some of the bugs. So why not go all the way? Should we legalize these characters?
If
No,
they
they're
are accessible, with no mods, yes.
If they're accessible with no mods.
I'm anti-mods. No mods.
True.
You're like you're holding that
Is
drug
it
box.
Slippy a mod? I don't remember when in 2001 when you would boot up the disc. Would it go online? I don't really remember that. Am I misremembering?
Yeah, that's what the little thing in the back of the GameCube was for. Was
Oh,
for the-
yeah.
Fantasy Star Online too.
Yeah, exactly.
We'd all play on MySpace. Yeah, I remember now.
But yeah, no,
Zamu during,
wireframes are stupid. No.
They don't have upbeats or specials, and they're just weird.
You know, here's a question: has the Melee scene had higher viewership in the era with online or without? That's a big question.
I don't know.
It is a good
tough to say.
question. I
Do
want
we
to
know?
answer
Do we know that?
the actual question with the most Melee player opinion, which is no, we should not legalize forbidden characters. If anything, we should be banning more characters. The game doesn't need the bottom half of the cast. Most of us only like the fun characters anyway.
Yo.
Why? Like, this is the ultimate take here, and not ultimate like literal ultimate, where they just think more is better, and we know we don't need more, we just need good.
I think
This
you
is the
need
best
to
take
put
I've
The
ever
only
heard.
character that rises to that level of being so bad it's not fun for anybody is Bowser.
Load
I
filler?
mean, my unranked history would disagree with that.
Oh, are you a
easily.
Bowser player?
No, I'm not a Bowser player. I've gone on and been like, oh my god, a Pichu.
Oh, they're trolls.
I've
That's
taken.
intro.
I stayed. I
They're
lived
just
in SoCal for a
contrarians,
summer.
yeah.
I lived in SoCal for a summer. I took the train out to a tournament for 48 minutes straight. I show up. I get shit on by Roy. I get shit on by Young Link, and I think really hard about my afternoon. That's what I'm gonna say. Play with the toys you're given. Okay, we
I
don't.
do gotta
need-
say, it's impressive that you managed to bring up that you were shit on by Young Link and Roy twice. In like, in a
I
completely
find a
separate
way.
lecture.
I find a way to be a great punching bag.
Is
That's
this
how
okay?
it works.
Trade war.
trying to
Let's
figure it out.
so,
like,
so Trade War. Why not legalize Punching Bag? This would be the perfect character for you.
it's true.
True. Well, when you put it like that, I think I don't know. Can Sandbag move?
Sandbag can move, but Sandbag can't die. So we would have to make some changes to the game.
At least I would get my money's worth. For entering
There
the
you
tournament.
go. I do think there is a legitimate case for Giga Bowser being unbanned because Giga Bowser is like Bowser if Bowser was cool, interesting, and similarly horrible.
Doesn't he like just shake the screen like crazy every time he moves around too? Like, I don't know if I can handle that. That's too much for me.
Okay, you're thinking it's like a seizure warning kind of issue.
Yeah, won't someone think of the accessibility issues of Giga Bowser? Like, let's talk
Is
about what's
anybody in
important
favor?
here.
Is everybody against? Also, you're getting quiet on me. Male wireframe, female wireframe. Why not? Why can't they be played?
They're too
I
tall.
don't like the fact that
Look
they
at what you have!
they perpetuate
too
an
tall?
unhealthy body image, you know? So it's just not fair. I don't like it.
We already
So
got
we
too
have
many
like
clone
Giga Bowser
characters
too.
anyway.
We already have skill dysmorphia. We think top 100 is bad. We don't need body dysmorphia as well. It's not gonna work.
All right. So any character above 6'6" cannot be allowed in the game.
It's average height in the NBA, man.
I mean,
Pretty
I think
simple.
Ganon might be above 6'6", and I think that's a good
Remove
argument
him.
for getting him out of the game. So out of
I
here.
that might be good for us. Kage gets the pass. You can be grandfathered in. This next topic is going to be hard for me to set up because it involves drama in the Smash Ultimate community, which I make a point to not follow, similar to Radar. Someone called Goblin got leaked screenshots of Tradewar here, making fun of him in a Discord, and then tried to cancel him, saying that Tradewar seeds tournaments and is biased because of this this teasing. My understanding is that Tradewar, you do not seed tournaments, but you apologized anyway to someone called Goblin. What the fuck happened here, and whose side should I take on the nerds versus top players civil war?
I am gonna preface this with all of my friends who are not as online saying that asking me why I got canceled by a man who calls himself the Moist Goblin online, and I haven't really had the heart to correct them. You know the craziest thing is, I think it's true at the end of the day that stats people and people who just talk about tournament results for 18 hours a day have a relationship with the game that involves around watching it and not thinking about the shit people say getting back to them. However, I didn't even say anything. I just wanted to go to bed so I could wake up for my job that I work for money the next day. And I think feeling the need to go to sleep and wake up the next morning with something to do is ultimately what pushed me towards just resolving it. With that
I
said,
gotta say, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, with that said, it's funnier that I get my jokes off, so whatever outcome sets me up for people telling me about anecdotes about how I forgot to wash my hands before leaving the bathroom or whatever, I'm here for it.
Did you do that?
Okay, like a non-zero number of times in my life, maybe.
All right.
Not with any regularity or intentionality.
Okay. Not like Mango.
I do like the little height measuring contest we have here, where the threshold for whether your opinion matters is: did you file a tax return last year? Are you employed? And apparently, to Tradewar, that's what matters. I will say, I personally wouldn't engage with anyone named Goblin because I have D's nuts trauma. So I just, wouldn't even touch it. But
But you battle people online all the time. You're like me. If a drama YouTuber mentions your name, you're replying. I was replying to people for days. I will fight every single one of them until they prove whether they deserve to be blocked or not. Why not fight? Why retreat?
Even actually, getting my jokes off. He blocked me before, and I took him blocking me as an invitation for me to get my jokes off because he wasn't gonna see them.
Zamu, Tyler, what do you think?
I think
Civil
to an
War.
extent, these new ultimate top players kind of have to go through this trial by fire because the melee players have been around for a lot longer. Usually, I'll skew a little bit older. The ultimate players aren't used to having just people like talk about them more often. So I think they kind of need to know that.
Complain about this too from the stats
they
people.
do, but a lot of them are more used to there just being like people just speaking about them in a higher sense. But the ultimate players, like there's some like 16-year-old top 15 players in ultimate. Like I think it's something they just got to get used to at this point. Because I mean, there's always going to be some people talking in a regional Discord that you've never even heard of that are going to be saying shit about you that they probably shouldn't say. But I think it's a fact of life. People are going to talk their shit, and it's just going to happen.
I
You're in
think
public.
the like single biggest problem that exists with regards to like top player stats people relationship is that people are nuanced. I hate this about people. One of my least favorite parts. Because like so many of the stats people, I love them. They're my friends, and like they do this thing that I hate, and they induce evil into this world. But they're my friends, and so it's like, well, what are we to do? But at the end of the day, Melee doesn't need Melee and Ultimate don't, and I think Ultimate might have a worse dehumanization problem than Melee, even though it's not great with Melee. Probably a children moment. But we just Melee needs top players more than it needs stats people, I think. And so
Disappeared
I think that's
tomorrow, wouldn't it just reemerge?
if what?
If you nuked the SSBM rank tomorrow and the whole team just quit, wouldn't somebody else just do the same thing the next year after a year off?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we get rid of them too.
Someone
Okay,
nuked
so
our
the
ranking.
revolution never ends.
It
Our
stats
ranking,
people all
our
the way
ranking got
down.
nuked 2 years ago, and it stats people all the way down. Every piece of ultimate infrastructure got nuked in November 2022.
Honestly,
And everything came back.
the thing is, at
So-
the end of the day, I'm owned because like you already know Mango is making his rankings, Cody's making his rankings, HBox is making his rankings.
Oh, they put them on their stream.
Yeah,
right?
like they're doing it on stream, and
Yeah.
like
But nobody cares. Why don't
But they don't
care?
put them in their Twitter bio, okay? So like there is a difference, you know.
That's right.
If you get ranked number 1 in Mango's rankings, you're feeling okay, but it doesn't go.
Which
it
one can
doesn't
I
go up in
appeal
the-
to an esports org with to say that I'm number 11 on the Mango rank versus the whatever?
Here's what I'll say. In 2019, a few Ultimate top players at the time thought that the Ultimate ranking was too Japan biased in 2019, so they seceded and made their own ranking. It was not
So
very
there
good.
really was a civil war.
There was a civil war. They
Definitely.
seceded, and then they got shredded by the court of public opinion because they tried to pose their opinions as being as being more viable than what had already existed, and it didn't end up working.
Yeah, this is
Okay,
something I've said many times. Go ahead, Radar.
Well, I think the answer to this question, we're getting into the nuance, which of course Zamu hates, but I think we don't need to get into nuance, and the nuance doesn't matter. It's quite simple. I know that the answer is just whoever has access to the block button has all the power. I was told today that Technicals was tweeting about me, and I was not aware of this because I block Technicals. So the answer to the question is whoever is the most liberal with the block button will go the furthest.
I must disagree with you despite respecting the philosophy. I have blocked probably nearly 30,000 people. It's not manually. I used to have an auto blocker. It is impossible. You know that you're being quote retweeted by some weirdo because the comments go from 3 to 100, right? You didn't know?
Never.
I honestly
I still
didn't. I
think
didn't.
see things on my
You live a
timeline of things
blissful,
I'm
that I-
very
beautiful
dumb.
life.
Like,
All right, let's move on to our next topic. This one comes from Patreon user or Patreon member, Choa, which is proof that when you subscribe to our Patreon, I could throw your topic on the show and credit you. Maybe even you'll be on the show. Subscribe to our Patreon. Was that a good pitch?
I'm a fan.
That was good enough? Okay. I keep forgetting to do this. Supernova 2024 is hosting a talent show. What talents would you, each of our pundits, show off if you were entered?
I can do some freak shit.
Yes. Continue.
I can hang from my shoulder blades. That's what I would do.
Can you show us on camera? Is that possible?
No, I can pull it. I would need like a bar or something.
Okay. So I guess
me,
I'll just have
me
to
and Zamu
believe
could
you.
shoulder blade joust because I could do the same thing.
Yeah? I've
I
never
want to
seen
see
anyone,
if I could turn around and do it, but
like I can like kind of do it on like the chair.
I have
What the fuck is that?
I have relatively square shoulders.
I think this should be losing points right now. I reject this.
that was my trick in like elementary school. Was,
Yeah.
like, you
How
come
come
up to
I can
people and be
hang
like,
from
"Hey,
them?
put your hand on my back," and then just go bam, shoot you down and freak them the fuck out. It was great.
And then I had two other things, but I forgot them.
Okay, so you two have that weird shit. Trade
We
war,
could
what would you
duel.
do?
So the answer that I usually defaulted to was like being able to fire this Nerf gun I had as a kid with my feet. But now the vibes of doing shit with your feet is very different now. So I'm gonna tap out of that one. B, I don't even think I have that gun anymore. So I would show up and I would hold a Nerf gun in my hands. I would look at the Nerf gun. I would look at the crowd. I'd look at the Nerf gun, and then I would use the bathroom and not return.
And you would wash your hands.
Yes, it's not a pattern!
Radar?
I mean, I think this is obviously a trick question because every Smasher I've ever met has told me that talent is not real, hard work trumps everything, and we're all mid-level. So the idea of a talent show, when I've been told every day of every time I ever participate in Melee conversation that talent doesn't exist, it's questionable. Almost as questionable as the Nerf gun feet stuff, but depends on your taste.
So you don't have any talents.
I mean, you could go listen to my lo-fi music. That's the honest answer. But
Okay. This has been a depressing 4 answers to this beautiful
Hey, I mean, I got the piano behind me. I've heard the live Jackzilla playing. I could plug in myself, but I don't think we need to subject people to that.
I might find that gun.
Let's move on to our tiebreaker, shall we? That's an Olympic tiebreaker. You guys are all pretty close here, so that's how the tiebreaker works. Anyone can win at this point. You have a slight advantage if you're in the lead, a slight disadvantage if you're not. I will have you answer in order from least points to the most points to kind of use your advantage. And it's a little bit like RuPaul, where I can kind of just decide you win at this point. It's an Olympic tiebreaker. Which Smasher would do the best at the Olympics? And in which event would they go into?
Dude,
Emily, you're up first.
I don't even know the Olympic events. Like,
I'm sure you do know something. Yeah, you could
I
get
saw
close.
that really beautiful woman shooting a pistol.
Okay, keep going. Which
Which
Smasher would be in that? Who could
Who
shoot gun best?
would shoot gun best? I think that, like, it's just any Smasher?
Yeah.
Any Smasher.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't
All
know.
right.
I've got my
sorry.
answer. I've got my answer. I'm good to go.
All right. Second up is Tyler.
It's an easy answer because friend of Tennessee, friend of the show, probably. Mr. Dylan Grab Draper. He is like a black belt judo specialist. So that dude's gonna throw some people around, win him some medals, bring it home for the United States. That's an easy.
USA. Okay.
Grab said he would wrestle me with one hand tied behind his back and both of his feet
You would
tied.
get destroyed.
And I was like, there's no way I will do this. I have no chance.
Truly beating you with one hand on the controller of judo.
Yeah, man.
Radar.
I mean, I think it's kind of comical that we haven't already answered the guy who will lift and swing any manner of object, chair or otherwise, who will pop off to the point of passing out. That's a level of physicality that, at the very least, makes a medal, if not silver and gold. So Hbox is the clear answer.
For which event? It sounds like
honestly,
you're describing shot put.
I honestly was thinking shot put. Like I was thinking, but it's so hard to say. Is he swinging the crab? Is he swinging the chair? Who knows? But that's my guess. He could win them all.
We literally have a Smash player who has world records in squats in like HM04 Mewtwo P+ Mewtwo player, I believe.
Yeah, that gets
It
crazy.
would be more surprising if we didn't. Like, unironically, the amount of Smashers, like, it would be more surprising if we don't have at least one person pursuing the Olympics.
Yeah, literally multiple world record squats.
I feel like it's hard to be good at two things. Tradewar.
Yeah,
Thankfully,
so
most of us aren't good at anything. So
for every American that doesn't have a Peacock subscription, winning the Olympics isn't about winning the Olympics. It's about getting posted to Twitter and having a bunch of people quote retweet your outfit. And I saw that Turkish guy who got silver in the pistol with just like a t-shirt on and no fancy outfits. And I think it would be most funny if it was Mewtwo King just shooting a gun in the middle. And so that's my final answer.
please don't give Mewtwo King a gun.
Your final This is
Like,
you've been
I feel like this is a very above any rules of the show. We need
Yeah,
to be very
you've
clear.
been very good about not revealing how much of an ultimate person you are, but thinking about Mewtwo King and then wanting Mewtwo King to have a gun, you've unfortunately
For the mental image.
you've
Literally, he
exposed
would
yourself.
survey
I'm gonna
Twitter
say
if
the
it's okay
best.
to shoot people first and feel very conflicted about it. It's just it's hard.
All right. You know what? I didn't like that tiebreaker enough, so I'm gonna do a second tiebreaker, which is why should you win this episode? Zamu, you go first.
I don't know. I shouldn't win this episode, but it would be nice.
That's not good enough. And Tyler Cox.
I'm crippled right now. My feet hurt. I just ran a tournament. That should have been a major. Vote for me.
Okay, Radar.
I'm gonna take the honest answer and say that Zamu's answer made me laugh the most throughout the episode. So I'm humbly gonna say that she should win.
Oh, Tradewar.
I'm the DEI hire, and it took me 58 minutes to out myself as an ultimate player for the call, and I think that's like the Inglorious Bastards intro. So
Okay, Inglorious Bastards this round. I'm going to take that as the correct answer. Tradewar, you are our winner, and the three losers are going to take the Fourside to see exactly how their punditry translates to Melee. Tradewar, congratulations on avoiding playing Melee on Fourside Fights. We'll be right back with that.
yay! All right. It's actually crazy that my experience with Melee has just been watching like people play on 5 stages for years of my life. So I know the UFOs. I know the UFO is the way it is. I think Zamu was playing Mario to prove a point to even spite Walt, who may or may not be in chat. And Rooster's on. Does Rooster play Hbox Jigglypuff all the time? I actually don't think I've ever seen him play.
I think we call it Hbox Jigglypuff. By the way, this is your time. You can chill whatever you want.
Oh,
You
I can chill
talk
whatever
about the
I
game.
want.
It's
All
your
right.
time. You
It's
can
my
commentate.
time.
You can chill.
Well, I feel like it'd be sporting to commentate the game a little bit. If I won, I'm gonna dedicate my victory to a Tennessee Ultimate TO named Sebasoon, who is currently funding money for his heart surgery. If you have money, give it to him. He's cool, and I want him to not get screwed over by the American healthcare system. Back to Melee though. I think that, like, I don't know. I should have complained more about ultimate rankings.
On the show or just
On
in
the
your
show
life?
or on the in real life? I already do. And in fact, I'm gonna get off this call and get onto another call and start editing the video for Supernova. So
Yeah.
I even think that I don't know, just too many
Well,
Japanese.
I have a rule that I follow, and I hope that your team follows it, which is if you're doing Melee stuff as a hobby, as a passion thing for fun, playing, making stuff, whatever, if it isn't fun, you should stop doing it.
Real.
And then,
I've been there, yeah.
and then while you are not doing it, you can find out how important it was to you, and then you come back and have a new perspective.
I ripped off Edwin's shtick of writing the article for Ultimate for a year, and then I went on vacation for like 2 weeks, and I came back and I just thought about how creatively blocked I was and how little I wanted to write.
Yeah.
And then I stopped. But yeah. I keep trying to sell those Japanese old players on Melee because I think it'd be really funny if like one of those like prodigy 16-year-olds just like started winning everything. Like it's again, if you convince some 16-year-old in Kansai that Melee is cool, actually, you guys,
I like the idea.
You guys will fly him out, and he will
Yeah.
get 33rd, but take a game off of Mango. So
I like the idea that like ultimate TOs and stats people all become part of a conspiracy to turn ultimate into a Melee funnel. It already is, but like making it explicit.
I think at the end of the day, people play the game that they like that they're already good at. Here's the secret about Ultimate. Everyone knows that Melee is the better game with the legacy that's more enjoyable to compete in. Everyone
But they've been
either
playing ultimate.
But they know what they're good at, and They like Ultimate more than they are
They
willing
like
to be
being
bad
good at melee more than they like switching
Yeah.
games and
They're
starting. from the
not
bottom.
willing. They're not willing to be bad at something again, which is totally reasonable. Which
Yeah, that's why I don't play Dota.
yeah.
I'm already the best bard player in fucking Emerald.
I played League for a few months a few years ago, and then I lost. I went 5-14 in an intermediate bots game, and then I played one game against. I played one unrated, and they said support uninstall, and so I did.
Oh, you let the trolls win.
They were right. They also
No,
in the
they
way
weren't.
I
They're
tried.
mean.
Maybe
They
I
were
can
mean.
go back to it.
All right, so we got two. We have a final two.
Yeah, I'm here for it. Okay.
Zamu at high percent. What do you think's gonna happen?
Up smash.
Up smash from
I don't know. Is Mario up smash good? Is that a thing? Is
Mario's
that a
up
thing
smash
too?
is good, but I was thinking about how Radar is gonna kill her. They look like they're both wearing blue skin. So this is Red Falco and Blue Mario. Did you know that? Even though they look the same.
Doesn't Melee force you to do the like your color has to be the team you're on, and you can't customize like.
It is, but this is just what the skin looks like.
Oh, this is horrible.
Red Falco still has blue feathers, but Blue Mario has a blue hat,
and red overall. Yeah,
but keeps the red overalls.
they're really the same, aren't they?
That's what I'm saying.
Radar, just up smash, Radar. Yeah.
Falco up smash, not the best kill move, but it would kill at 252.
I was gonna
It
say
is
okay.
very
it is-
hard. It's hard to kill horizontally on this stage. It's very
How are
hard.
how
to
are
kill.
blast zones on Fourside?
They're enormous,
Okay.
but also on the side, they're not enormous.
Ah.
But the whole stage is huge, and if you like position where Zamu is, you can always tech a wall.
Do you feel like people are meta developing Fourside because of your show and because more people are playing on it?
No,
Okay.
it's very easy to win the Fourside fight by camping. It's just in poor. It's in poor sport.
It's in poor taste,
Unfortunately.
yeah. Oh,
Got a free one. Didn't take it. Embarrassing. Oh, get him big on him.
that's the most fucked up thing about Ultimate. They got rid of that taunt.
It's it's maybe the best taunt in the game. I think it might be number one. It's tough to beat DK.
Yeah.
It's tough to beat Yoshi. But getting big is pretty crazy.
Getting big is crazy. Yeah. Now he just does a little thumbs up. But yeah. Wow, they are. This stage is not. You cannot die on this stage. Oh my. Okay.
You had to say that.
Please.
And Zamu is the winner of the fight on Fourside. Congratulations to Tradewar for winning Fourside Fights and Zamu for winning the fight on Fourside. Thank you to all of our guests. We've done a great job, great show tonight, and we'll see you in the next show 2 to 3 weeks from now. Bye.